Okay, if you've been keeping up with the absolute tidal wave of updates hitting Notion between 2024 and 2026, you already know we are way past the days of it being just a simple digital notebook, right? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking how Notion has morphed into this massive, comprehensive ecosystem that handles everything from dynamic data collection to AI processing, all completely natively.
Let's run through the agenda really quick. We're going to cover Welcome to Modern Notion, Smart Forms and Logic, Organizing Your Workspace, Automations and AI Agents, the Offline Mode Reality, and finally, Workflows, Templates, and Systems. Basically, we're tracing the entire lifecycle of your data.
Kicking things off with Section 1, Welcome to Modern Notion, moving beyond the basic note-taking app. Let's just quickly establish what Notion has actually become before we get into the really good stuff.
A 2026 review hit the nail on the head when comparing tools like Evernote and Notion by looking at their fundamental architecture. Evernote is kind of like a really reliable junk drawer. You toss a receipt or a quick note in there, shut it, and you're done. Notion? It's an empty apartment. You literally have to build the walls and furnish it yourself. It's totally shifted from quick note-taking to full-on workspace architecture.
Moving to Section 2, Smart Forms and Logic, the intelligent front door to your workspace. So, if Notion is this giant, empty apartment, how do we actually get our stuff into it without losing our minds? This is where things get super exciting. The release of version 2.49 turned Notion Forms into the ultimate adaptable front door for your data. In the past, if you wanted to capture dynamic client briefs, detailed questionnaires, or team feedback, you had to pony up for a third-party app. But now, Conditional Logic is built right in, meaning the form adapts in real time. If your client selects Website Redesign on Question 1, boom, Question 2 automatically shifts to ask for their current URL. It is a total game changer.
And the setup is just incredibly frictionless. Step 1, you just create the form right inside your workspace. Step 2, you set up those conditional rules. If they answer X, ask Y. And Step 3, you publish it natively. You're completely ditching external services like Typeform, and the best part, all that submitted data goes straight into your internal Notion databases. It's instantly ready to go.
All right, Section 3, Organizing Your Workspace, Taming the Infinite Scroll. Because once you've captured all that perfect data through your smart forms, you definitely need a clean way to organize it so you're not just staring at a terrifying wall of text.
If you've been around a while, you remember the dreaded infinite scroll. Just endlessly stacking linked databases on top of each other. Well, version 3.4 practically cured that with native tabs and dashboard views. Now, multiple databases can live totally cleanly on a single page. You just click a tab to flip from your active projects right over to your task list, all without ever leaving your main dashboard. So much cleaner, right?
And it's not just tabs. The whole UI has gotten a major polish. You can use Header 4 for built-in side navigation menus now. You can archive pages so they vanish from search and get completely ignored by Notion's AI. Plus, there's a native presentation mode that just uses simple divider blocks. But honestly, my absolute favorite tweak? Database conditional formatting. It automatically color codes your rows, so the exact second you check off a task, it turns green. It's so satisfying.
So here's the big question. You've perfectly collected your data with those slick forms. It's sitting nice and pretty in your tab dashboards. But what happens next? Are you actually going to sit there and manually update everything yourself? No way.
Which brings us to Section 4, Automations and AI Agents, making your data work for you. Let's look at how Notion is stepping up to actively process your data in the background.
Okay, so Notion has finally, and I mean finally, opened its doors to the outside world natively. Enter webhooks, which are now available on any paid plan. Basically, if you change a CRM lead status to qualified inside Notion, it sends a real-time HTTP post update to instantly update your external tech stack. You're cutting out that heavy reliance on middleman apps like Zapier or Make for your basic trigger events. It's a massive time saver. But taking it a massive step further, we have custom AI agents. These are a business and enterprise add-on, and they are not your basic text generators. We're talking about automated, metered assistants that run on schedules or triggers to do multi-step work. Imagine setting up an agent that automatically sweeps your task database every single Friday to summarize meeting notes, or reads a new project brief and instantly builds an interactive quiz. It's literally like having a digital intern living inside your workspace.
Quick warning though, before you go crazy building complex workflows, there's a bit of a trap.
If you set multiple triggers to all of these, like say, status changes to done and an assignee is added, those edits have to happen almost simultaneously. You've got about a 3-second window. If you check the status, grab a sip of coffee, and then assign the person, the automation will silently fail. It won't even throw an error. Knowing about that little quirk will save you hours of pulling your hair out.
All right, Section 5, the offline mode reality, navigating Notion 2.53 without internet. Because we've got to ask, what happens to all this brilliantly processed data if you're on a flight with no Wi-Fi?
Well, as a rather critical 2026 analysis by the Hintword blog pointed out, Notion's 2.53 offline mode is definitely a step forward, but let's be real, it's not a true offline first setup. Basic text blocks, pre-downloaded pages, those work great and they auto-sync when you reconnect. But complex database relations, images, button blocks, and Notion AI, yeah, those simply break without an internet connection. You're essentially working off a partial cache, so definitely don't expect your massive dashboards to run flawlessly at 30,000 feet.
Wrapping things up with Section 6, Workflows, Templates, and Systems. Pulling it all together, let's talk about how to take all these native tools and actually weave them into systems you can use every single day.
If you're looking for a proven framework, the PARA method is wildly popular for organizing your workspace. It's super simple. You funnel everything chronologically. First, projects, your active right-now tasks. Then, areas, your ongoing responsibilities. Next, resources, like reference materials or YouTube scripts. And finally, archives, where inactive items go to rest. By linking these databases, your workspace stays completely focused on what's actionable right now while still safely storing the rest of the shebang for later.
And hey, if you're pulling these systems up on your phone, you absolutely must optimize for that tiny screen. Try this quick setup. Step 1, slap that Notion Plus widget right on your phone's home screen. Step 2, set it to dump ideas into a default capture database. And Step 3, aggressively use toggle blocks inside your templates. Toggles let you hide massive chunks of text so you aren't endlessly scrolling with your thumb just to find your grocery list.
But honestly, whether you're building out a massive multi-department project tracker or just a simple 5-minute daily habit system, you have to remember one golden rule. Start simple. Trying to build a sprawling, complex database ecosystem from scratch on day one is literally the #1 mistake beginners make. It is exactly why people get overwhelmed and abandon the tool. Just grab a template, tweak it gently, and let it evolve naturally as your needs grow.
The tools to dynamically collect your data with forms, run it through AI agents, and organize it all visually are finally here, and they're completely native. That empty apartment is officially yours to furnish. So knowing what this ecosystem can do now, are you really going to keep doing manual data entry, or are you ready to build a workspace that actually works for you? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.